I'm Kelli Ritter. This is Dr. Kristy Holloway, my friend and colleague, and we love talking all things wellness.
Yes.
So I asked Kristy, Dr. Holloway, if she would come talk about some wellness and really immune support. So we're going to talk about ways that you can support your immune system, make some elderberry syrup, show you how to make bone broth if you'd like that, and then maybe talk about some essential oils that help.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We got a lot.
We got a lot. Yeah, we got a lot to do, so we'll see. And that's the elderberry syrup that's all made.
Already made, all nice, still warm.
So tell me how you use this.
So, a couple of ways. In my household, we drink this every single day.
Okay.
Just as a preventive measure.
Yeah.
Okay. So we drink, honestly, I really don't measure it, but about a tablespoon or so for me and the boys. My boys have been on this since they were about a year old. And they're 4
now.
Twins. Yes, twins. And they actually ask for it. They will remind me if I have not given them their elderberry syrup and their honey. So we do it then. But then if we have a little of the cooties or cruds, or we feel something kind of coming on, I actually will do it about 3 times a day. So like breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Okay. To really boost the immune system, help fight whatever's coming on.
Right.
I'm excited because I haven't made this yet. I make a lot of Kristy's recipes, but I haven't made this one yet. So
we love this. I keep elderberries on hand. So I didn't put honey in it.
Oh, okay. So
just because some folks don't use honey, and that's fine. You can do agave nectar if you want, or you don't have to put any sweetener in it at all. Okay. So because it can be a little bitter, but the one I drank this morning didn't have any sweetener in it. It was fine for me. So it does thicken up
when you add the honey. Got it. So just children under 1, you wouldn't do honey.
Correct.
So your boys didn't get the honey till they were
older. They got it a little older. I'm trying to think if I may have given it to them a little before, and it may have had the agave nectar in it. But I have a video of them actually crying because they wanted more. Yeah. I was like, it's it. That's it.
Sweet. Yes. Okay, so tell me what we're doing first.
Okay.
How can I help?
So there's the pre-made one. Okay. And I was just talking about like how I really don't measure much.
I don't measure either, so sorry if you're a measurer. We'll do our best.
So these are dried elderberries. Now I do one of 2 things. There is a like natural store, natural market by me, and I will go in there and just fill up. And get as many as my little heart desires, as many bags. But then I always feel guilty because I'm like, hey, I'm taking it from others who may need this.
Wiping these people
exactly.
out.
Like, just give it here. But I get them from there. You can also order from Amazon. Okay. And get I don't know if I say a brand or whatever. The brand that I necessarily get is Frontier brand, but it's organic. And they're dried already, so they still look like this, and it's a bigger bag. It comes about a pound. You can get more. Okay. So it just really depends. If you don't have something, a market close to you where you can get these, Amazon Prime.
I think I saw them at Trader Joe's too.
Yeah. I have certain places I have seen them and I haven't. So, but if you don't have a place or you're order them. You're like me, who Amazon is my next best friend, especially if you have Prime, then that's there. So typically what I do is, this is right at a cup of elderberries. Okay. So
we need the water.
Yeah, the water. And
so we just have purified water. So I prefer to use distilled or purified anytime I'm making any of these things that are supposed to be helpful for your gut or immune system. But I also know you just do whatever you can do. Yes. So how much water are we putting in this?
So 1 cup of elderberries to 4 cups of water.
Okay.
Now, if you do 3, I don't think it's going to do anything different. So I always like to just kind of make more because, again, depending on how often we're drinking it, I may be making it several times a week.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. If everybody's got the sniffles. All right. So about 4-ish.
Yep. So there's one.
Yeah, that's the way I measure. 4-ish. That's good.
Right.
I do own the measuring cup. Yeah.
So those things, you're just like a sprinkle here, there. That looks about 4. And then I use whole cloves.
All right.
So this is super good for immune wellness, opening up all those sinuses and all that good stuff. Again, I don't measure.
Want me to take
so
a
maybe like a little handful.
Got it.
But this honestly can be to your preference, because some people really, it's, this is, they say it's maybe like a little too spicy.
Okay.
So this is really preference. If you want to do more, you can. If you want to do less, I just try to like get everything in there. Then some cinnamon sticks.
Just the whole stick?
Yep, the whole stick. And I usually put about 2 in. Okay. 2 or 3. So I'll put.
Depending on the size. Yeah. See.
I'll do another one of those.
Okay.
And then.
Nice.
And once you start like letting it simmer, it smells super good. And then fresh ginger. And I've already rinsed that and peeled my little tag off here.
Okay. So do you want chop it, grate it?
Let's grate it.
You need a little peeler.
I actually do it. I just chop it up.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
All right.
So,
grater.
Depending on your time, you can do this. There have been times I've just chomped this whole thing in there.
We don't have time.
Right? Yeah. Right. Let's see.
I love that.
But you can also slice it. You can use your grater. It just really is kind of what you're feeling like.
I just like this thing.
Yeah.
All right.
It's really what you're feeling like, because I then use a very fine mesh strainer, so none of it gets in there anyway.
Okay.
But if you're a person who doesn't like pulp or stuff like that, you just want to make sure you strain it really, really good. So you know what? Oh no, careful.
I know.
Let's see what happens with this.
Okay.
Again, I don't measure, but if I'm slicing it, I will usually do maybe 3 or 4 big slices.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
I like all these
toys.
It
smells so good.
We're not endorsing any particular products. We're using the things that are in my kitchen or that Kristy brought. So that's just... Yeah, we don't get paid to endorse any of this stuff. So use what works for you, what you got in your kitchen.
Whatever brand. If you want to use already ground cinnamon, that's fine too. If you have ginger already sliced or grated, that's fine as well. I do typically try to use fresh though. Okay. Like I won't use ginger powder.
Right. I prefer that.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody's sick and they come home and they've got the sniffles and that's all you've got,
use it.
And I also keep some in the freezer.
Yes.
So I have fresh ginger that, it's not my preference, but in a pinch, it works really well. Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so I keep ginger, garlic, and coconut oil in our house all of the time.
Yeah.
All seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm out of it, I'm shocked. And I'm like, where is my coconut oil? Or where did I use the ginger or whatever? I keep garlic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we make garlic salads and things like that.
Right. Yeah. So Dr. Holloway has private practice, is a counselor educator.
Yes.
And also makes lots of things at home for her family. So we always talk about wellness is not just about, all of these, it's what we, nutrition and diet. Diet isn't just what we eat. It's what we watch, what we put in our skin, all of it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You have anything else to say about
that?
Yeah,
I was going to say, I got on my wellness journey about maybe now 5-ish years ago, but I didn't realize how important what we put on our body was, like how important it was. It's just as important as what we put in our body.
Yes.
Nor did I realize like how much stuff everything had in it, you know?
Right.
So I'm thinking, oh, this is healthy. I'm eating this. And then because when you know, learn better, you do better.
Right.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
Angela tells us,
yes,
do what you can, do the best you can. And when you know better, you do better.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So yeah, I try to be very aware.
Did you finally just plop it?
Yeah, I just put that on last piece in there.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks.
Yes. But I try to be very aware what I put on and in. But I'm not perfect. I love gummy bears. So those go in a lot. But then I try to like balance it out. Yeah.
I got you.
So, let me rinse my hands here. So, what we'll do from here is just put it on a very low heat to let it simmer.
Okay.
I usually let mine simmer about 30, 45 minutes, and then I just strain it. And
so like a really fine mesh.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe something like
that is perfect. Yes, it's perfect.
Okay.
And then I store it in like a glass jar or a glass bowl.
Right.
These are like the little cannon. I'm so Southern. Not cannon. The canning jars. Yeah. Because you can make up several batches and freeze it.
Oh, okay.
So you can freeze in these. You just don't want to fill it up too far because it'll expand. Yeah. So even if you do several little batches or bigger ones, you can freeze it too, and then always have some made up. You can even put it, like if you want pre-measured, you can put it in ice trays and it'll be cubes, and then you can just plop a cube out and the kids can get it themselves, or just kind of sit it on the counter and just kind of know this is the portion, so to speak.
Great. So I'm going to simmer this. Okay. Lid on, lid off? Start lid off?
Yeah, we can start with it off. Just let it get to a little boil, and then we'll turn it down to simmer.
Got it. Okay.
Yes. And then that's how easy it is. What was that, maybe 5 minutes? And I know we kind of talked and things like that. Yeah,
so that's pretty easy.
Yeah, and you can, what was that commercial? Set it and forget it. Like you can do that and then go on about whatever you're doing in the morning, getting dressed or putting the kids to bed. Like whatever it is that you're doing, you don't have to just stand there and watch it.
Perfect.
And it doesn't take forever to prep it.
Yeah, that's great. So we let it simmer for at least 45 minutes. Okay.
We started and our cinnamon stick has expanded.
Nice. Okay.
So what I do from here is I just strain it. Use my mesh strainer. I don't want to splash you. Yeah.
You're good.
I use my little mesh strainer here to collect all the berries.
Nice.
Get everything out. All my little liquid. Yeah.
Good. Perfect.
Yeah. So now this next part is again really up to your preference. Again, you can use honey, agave nectar. You don't have to do any sweetener.
Okay.
Sometimes I may even put like a little orange or lemon in it just for the citrus. So yeah. So you want to put a little honey?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll squeeze. Again, I don't measure. I just do it again a little sometimes to take off the bitterness. There have been times where I don't have any honey or I don't have enough. And so I don't use it. That's going to be enough. I like to do it though while it's still hot because then it helps just to
melt it. Get it all nice.
Yep. I prefer to use local honey. I didn't have any a chance to go by my store, but I prefer to do that just
right. It's got the local. It's great for allergies. And so you've got the plus we're supporting local folks.
Absolutely.
But I agree. Whatever you got.
And it doesn't have stuff in it. You just you never know. Sometimes I'll even get the honey still has the little the honeycomb in it. Which I have chewed on that.
I know. My children, what is that? You've got to know what honeycomb.
A honeycomb. Yeah.
Nice.
Perfect. And then from here, so again, it now depends on what you want to do. There have been times I've kept it in the bowl and just put a top on it because again, we're just constantly drinking it. And then of course there are times I want to be all fancy and I'll get a funnel and pour it into a jar. as well. I do use glass as well.
Right. I try to store everything in glass if possible.
And that's it. That's elderberry syrup. And you drink it till your heart's content.
Yeah. So once a day, if it's just for maintenance, about how much?
Sometimes I'll get maybe a quarter of a cup. When I first started, I would always get like a spoon and measure it out and be like, okay, here. But this morning, like I literally poured some in a cup for the boys and like, here, drink this. Come get your honey and let's go. And then they were like, where's my probiotic? My old man. But yeah, so I sometimes just pour and I kind of eyeball it. But again, if you're really wanting to measure it and you're doing it for kids, you can do maybe a teaspoon a day or a teaspoon each time. And then for adults, you can do 1 to 2 tablespoons.
Great.
Yeah.
So now we're going to make a batch of bone broth. I actually made a batch 3 days ago. I learned from Kristy. So I've been making bone broth for years.
Yeah.
We're all about gut health, and bone broth is great for healthy gut. And I did 24 hours in the crock pot. That was my thing. And then I saw a batch of Kristy's on social media, and I was like, ooh, what are you doing? Because it looked so much richer.
Yeah.
And so I learned 3 days in the crock pot. So if you have a crock pot, you want to do it that way. 3 days.
3 days.
And so that one's been in there this is the third day. So we'll look at that in a minute. But we were just talking about where to get bones.
Yeah.
So I just picked up these bones at a local grocery store in the freezer section. I prefer to get them from the farmer's market, but they're usually huge. So if you don't have a big pot or a big crock pot, that can be a little bit of an issue.
Right.
Because at the grocery store, they tend to be a little bit smaller. So I just picked up a few marrow bones, and you found a butcher.
Yeah, there's a halal butcher near me, and I'll go and get them. I found out the days that they have them, so I'll go, and they'll actually slice them up for me so I can get them to fit. And I'll do the marrow bones, and then I've also done more recently lamb.
I love lamb bones.
So good. That's the broth I had this morning was from the lamb bones. So
you can do any. Well, and if you're a vegetarian, obviously you're not going to do this. But you could use chicken, turkey bones, fish. I just saw fish broth used with the carcass of a fish, which looked amazing. I got to try that too. But I like the bone marrow. I actually eat the bone marrow.
Oh, okay.
So
once it comes out, then you just
the dogs get really excited when they smell the marrow.
Wow. I'm gonna have to try that now.
Yeah, I'm the only one in the family that will do that. They all think that's so gross because I have teenage boys. But
that's like all the good nutrients and collagen, like all that good stuff's in it. And I've never thought to see, now I do that.
So we learn from each other.
Yeah.
So you don't have to roast them. Kristy and I were talking. Sometimes I'm in a hurry and I just throw those things in the crock pot. So what I did on Sunday is I threw bones in the crock pot and I put filtered water on top of it, and then I threw a little bit of sea salt in there and some apple cider vinegar, and I leave it for 3 days, and that's it.
Yeah.
I like to do that if I'm going to make soups or something else with it that it will have a lot of flavor.
It's so
good. But you can also throw whatever veggies you want to make the bone broth and then strain those off. And I actually will then blend this. I don't know if you do. And I use it as a gravy because I don't want to throw that stuff out. It's a great gravy.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. But
idea, and I usually just chunk it.
So. I know. I used to just chunk it, and that felt
wasteful.
It felt wasteful to me. I didn't like that. So now I blend it up with a little hand blender and the big blender, and it makes a nice little gravy.
Okay, that's what I'll be doing.
That's fun.
Yes.
All right. So we have some beef marrow bones.
Okay.
But we're gonna roast these so you can see what that looks like. So Kristy and I both do it both ways. So I'm just broiling these for probably like 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll flip them and do about 5 to 10 minutes. That just brings out more flavor, I think.
Right. Yeah.
So there's really no other major benefit to that I know of, except the flavor.
Yeah.
So then you get your crock pot. You could also use a large stock pot if you don't have a crock pot. And
or even a pressure cooker.
Oh, or
if you have your Instant Pot or whatever pressure cooker, that works as well too. You just have to, you know, of course, restart it. But if you do the pressure cooker, obviously, you know, people do the pressure cooker to get it a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't put as much flavor. So if you can restart your pressure cooker like at least one more time, that'll be good too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of different ways that you can do this. So this is my big old crock pot. And what I'll do is when we roast them, we'll put the bones in there. We'll put the filtered water on top. And I just throw in carrots, celery, garlic, onion. And you don't even really have to make them nice.
No.
You don't chop them nicely. You just chop so that it can
just fit in and do it. Yeah, good rough chop is fine.
Rough chop. And the garlic, like you don't even have to peel the garlic. You can just throw in chunks of the garlic. And the same with carrots. You too?
Yep. I do that. Celery, all of it.
All right.
And all of these are really great for gut, immune as well. Garlic, celery, carrots, onion, all of it. All of it is. Like I was saying, I make a garlic salve.
Yeah.
If there are little germs, I put up an onion out to absorb germs. Yeah.
Ooh, that's smart. I didn't think about that. Yes. So these are all ways that we help with gut flora, which is you want to feed your good gut bacteria.
Yeah.
And that's how we want to do that.
You know, one of the things I like about bone broth too is because it's so protein rich.
Yes.
It can be my breakfast or it can be a lunch. But I'm not cutting out on nutrients and vitamins. So it's good for that. It's good if you are fasting or detoxing or something like that. So you can still get that energy and still be satisfied.
Right.
So you can drink on it all day long, honestly.
Right. And so I sip on it. I have a batch that I store, and I store them in glass containers so you can freeze it. Or, so my one batch is my nobody touch this. Well, they won't. I would let them touch it, but this is my sip on.
Yeah.
And then I have a batch to, or I keep some of it to make soups or to add in food. So even if I'm sauteing like kale or something, you just do a little ladle full. And that helps.
Yep. So I have some in the freezer, and then because I think I got on this whole ice tray thing when I made the boys food. They always had homemade, fresh food. They never had like the little baby jar food. But anyway, it was always good to just put it in the ice cubes because it was the right size when they were smaller. And then I can be like, oh, now they're getting a little bigger. They can have 2 or 3. So I think I'm just still on ice trays. But so yeah, I have some frozen in a glass jar. And then I also have some froze them in ice trays, and then just once they got really solid, put it in a Ziploc bag. So then if I'm cooking, I can just grab one and put it in.
Perfect.
So I don't have to thaw all of that if I'm not ready for it.
Oh, you're right.
Unless I know it does. But like I know if I'm going to drink it too, then I'll go ahead. But if I just need one, because maybe I have some in the fridge already. Yeah. Okay.
So I think our bones are ready.
Okay.
That did not take too long. Oh my goodness. So I'm just popping them right in the bottom. Again, you don't have to roast them. Yeah.
So what was that? 10 minutes? I don't even know. Maybe 10 minutes?
About 10 minutes. Not long. Just to get enough of that. Get them going. Yeah, and then I just dump all this stuff in there.
So what did we put it on? 450 for roasting?
We actually did broil.
That's right, the broil.
You could do 450 roasted if you wanted to, but we just did it on. So I just throw all the stuff in here like that. I break up the garlic just a little bit. Well, not breaking up the garlic, just a little bit. Throw them in there. Probably throw the whole thing in there, but
you want to get it all mixed in.
I want to mix it. I don't know. That seems like the thing to do.
And one thing, since if you are letting it simmer for 3 days, 2-3 days, just check the water level. You may need to add a little more water to it. So just pay attention to that.
So we've got our filtered water. And I like to use filtered water. If you've got filtered water at home and you can put it in glass containers, I do prefer that. But we were running low over there, so I bought some filtered water from the grocery store. So, and then we have some apple cider vinegar. I don't know, about that much.
And it just helps break down the bones and the marrow and all that good stuff.
Right. And
apple cider vinegar is really good for you too, so.
It is. Actually, I do a shot of apple cider vinegar almost every day. So, and then I just have some Himalayan pink salt from the local, we have a whole bunch of farmers markets, so we're really lucky in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I just throw in some Himalayan salt, a little of this. If you've got any peppercorns, you want to throw in some peppercorns.
That's good.
You can. I think I might have some of that.
Okay.
And then I can just put it on. Well, I'm trying to open them. That's not happening. They're stuck. All right, so you can just throw some pepper in there. I like to throw the whole peppercorn, but
that'll do too.
A little, then whatever will make it work. So then we put the lid on.
And we did that for a little of the flavor, but obviously too, because if you're going to be cooking with it, you don't want to have it like all seasoned up and you're drinking it and things like, you don't want all of that.
Right.
So yeah, it's not like you're making this, you can flavor it as you cook if you're cooking
exactly
with it.
And that's why I kind of like to just make just the bones, because depending, I may not know what kind of food I'm going to be making or adding, where I want to add it. But this tastes fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I do like blending all the veggies. So what we'll do at the end, so it'll cook, I'll let this cook for a few days. And you do have to keep restarting it if you use this kind of pot. So, and then I'll strain the top of it and I'll pull out the bones. And then I keep all the fat in there.
Yeah.
So some people have a hard time with that and they like to skim it.
Yeah, I'll skim it.
Yeah.
But I can't get it all. But I do skim it. Yeah.
Which you can't, And so if you put it in the refrigerator and it gels, it's an easy way to just skim all that fat off the top of it.
I had to learn that because I was always trying to strain it and I'm like getting my cheesecloth and trying to do it. I was like, no, put it in the fridge, let it get hard and everything, and then just take it right off top. Much easier.
You could actually use that fat to cook. So fat is good for us.
Yeah. Very good. So we waste not, want not. Like we're not wasting anything from it. Very good.
Right. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's been in the crock pot. So this one has been in about 2.5 days. I just take the bones out and put them on a plate because I'm going to eat that marrow.
Yeah.
And all the fat around it, I add that to the dog's food. Don't email me about that.
Right.
I don't do it very often, and they love it, and they're very healthy. So I do not give them the bones because I was told that cooked bones can splinter and are not good for dogs, but raw bones are great. So if you get extra from your butcher or wherever you're getting bones, you can give them raw bones. And that's great, and they can eat the marrow out of that.
So you see all that marrow coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always some. Yeah, so this was 2 containers of 2 batches.
Okay. So is it like about a pound or so each batch, maybe?
I don't know. Let me get them all out and we'll see.
So I think I'll usually do about a pound and a half a batch. Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes when I'm running by the grocery store and they have a package with just a few, and so you're like,
then I'll just do that one. Yeah.
It just depends.
Because sometimes, my butcher may not have that many. I'll just give me what you have, and then I'll, do it that way.
Yeah. And I also, whatever we've got in the refrigerator, whatever carcass I can come up with.
Yeah, like even when you were talking about seafood, like that's what I do when I'm making my gumbos and etouffee and things like that, and I'll make my own seafood broth to put with it. So
I actually did not have to add water to this. I kept sort of checking it, and it stayed pretty full.
Yeah.
But you were right. If you're going to do it for several days, you might have to add more water. But this is it. So it's still got all the fat and good stuff floating around there. So we'll let it cool, and then I'll put it in containers and put it in the fridge. And then if you want, when the fat rises to the top and congels, then you can scrape that off, and then figure out the best way for you to store it so that you can use it the way that you want to use it.
And you can also just drink it right on.
I drink it. I
put
usually
it in a cup.
can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Usually. So
get you a glass and drink it on up.
Yep. So much richer looking. That's what it looks like. Is that about right?
Yep. And of course, the longer it simmers, the darker it'll be.
Yep. All that good.
All of that's so good.
Floating around in there. Yeah.
And it's good, yeah. So you can strain it if you want. You don't, if you don't want to, and it's good.
It's got all that good stuff in there. That's why I don't like to strain it. But some people get a little weirded out by it. So just use that really fine mesh strainer. So thank you so much, Dr. Holloway.
Yes, thank you for having me, Dr. Ritter.
Yes. Love having you. I love having you in my kitchen.
Yes,
anytime.
This was super fun. Thank you for inviting me and having me.
Yeah. So thank you.